Hi, and welcome to week 2 already. Let's get started with your assignments for this week. I know some of you have already started on these, so I hope this will answer maybe some questions that you might have had. First of all, have you completed your EVA for both courses? Make sure that you have completed 682, but also please make sure to go into 696 and complete that. That's the only time you'll have to go into that course. And as it says, if not, stop everything and do it now so that you have it done. Due dates this semester, it runs from Wednesday to Tuesday. All assignments are due by Tuesday at 11:59 p.m. unless it is an assignment that needs a peer response. If it is an assignment with a peer response, then it's due by Sunday evening so that your peers have time to read and respond. One thing that you're going to notice, and I had to refresh my memory about this too, is this is a 10-week instead of a 15-week course. So in some weeks, you're going to see double the readings. Don't let that throw you. If it's in this week, then it is to be done this week. So we have, first of all, Chapter 2, In Action Research in Education, you're to read, and then watch the videos describing each of the task stream evidences this semester. So make sure that you watch those and understand them, and then look over all the information inside the Action Research folder in the Resources for Content, Course Content link, and then complete your CITI certification. So let's look at your Action Research folder. Clicking this link will take you to the Action Research folder on the Resources for Course Content page. So let me click on that folder, and then this is the information that you are to look over. This template is going to be really important to you as you start working on your action research. So just making sure that you understand what action research is and what it looks like. And then you have your reading, Chapter 2. This is going to be your discussion board post. As you think about an action research topic, you should consider whether or not you have control. For example, if you cannot control the number of students, then choosing class size is not really good for you. So this is a little different than just research. You're actually going to choose a topic that you do have control over and that you can research and you can put into action with your group. You will write 2 or 3 possible topics for your investigation and explain why they're of interest to you. Then follow the steps outlined at the beginning of Chapter 2 in the text to make a final choice of your topic. Submit here, and then I will give you feedback on the topic that you've chosen to make sure it's one that you could actually form an action research project around. Then you're going to go to task stream evidences this semester. Make sure that you look over the videos, and then you're going to give me your initial thoughts on the evidences due this semester. So you're going to have the action research project, the standards-based grading project, and then we are not doing the implementation of classroom curriculum night. So don't worry, that will not be an evidence that you will turn in this semester. Note that you have 2 texts to support you in both your action research and your standards-based grading project. You'll finish both of these in week 7 so that then you'll have your background that you need to finish your work. And design rules you should never break. Avoid breaking these rules in your presentations. You'll be much better in conveying your content if you don't break these rules. So make sure you're looking over this too. It might surprise you some of the rules that are of interest and that are covered in this topic in this folder. Go back. CITI certification. Please open this folder to access information about the CITI certification. So you're going to submit your CITI certification to TaskStream. You may not be able to get into TaskStream just yet. Usually that takes a few weeks into the semester before you can get in. However, you're going to go ahead and complete your CITI certification and be ready to submit it when it will allow you. This course is about measurement, assessment, and action research. In order to become more familiar with these different components, your first assignment is to complete the online CITI certification. You'll learn about ethics in research, confidentiality, research with students in schools, and other topics. Gives you the CITI certification mission statement. You're going to work on the certification process, and it does take you about 2 hours to complete this assignment. You'll click here for instructions on logging into CITI certification, and remember to affiliate with the School of Education Learning Group for Gardner Webb. You will have 17 modules that you will complete with a passing score, and you can take the quizzes as many times as you need to pass those scores. And then your discussion board project is going to be what information did you learn from completing the city certification and what surprised you. So once you get into city certification and you've taken the modules, this is what you will receive. You will receive this document that says what you took, when you completed it, and your score. And then you're going to want to save this because this is what you're going to want to submit to TaskStream. So just make sure you save that report once done. And then you'll want to complete this discussion board about what you learned from completing it and what surprised you. Maybe you learned something about research that you didn't know before. Maybe everything is something you didn't know before. Then your EDUC 696, you're going to open up this folder. You're going to submit your signed clinical experience partner page. So just make sure that you have your agreement form. This is just with certificate. This is just with signatures of you and your a partner. You don't have to worry about getting me to sign it. My signature is when you turn it in, that's pretty much my signature. So you're going to turn that in here. This is an example. You're going to turn that in here to the discussion board. And then at the end of this semester, you will also turn it into TaskStream. This is an exemplar. If you don't know what a clinical experience plan looks like, you can look at this exemplar. A lot of you have turned that into me already. I've looked at it and given you permission to go ahead and start. These are activities. If you are fishing for things that you can do, these are possible activities. These are activities that will not be accepted. So if it's something that you already do that's part of your teaching duties, it will not count as your clinical experience hours. Submit your site supervisor agreement to TaskStream. Again, you may not be able to do that just yet. I will remind you at the end of the semester as well. And then here's your clinical experience log template. So you're going to make sure that you submit your partner agreement page here. You will submit it to TaskStream, and then you're going to work on making sure that you have the right type of activities for your clinical experience plan. If you haven't already submitted that, that needs to be submitted so that I can look at it and let you know that it's good, that you can go ahead and get started. Then we jump down, which would have been another week, but in this 10-week course, it's actually all in week 2. You have chapter 5 to read. Chapter 3 in action research and education. You're going to review figure 2.9 from chapter 2. And then read the following sections from chapter 1 in measurement and assessment. The blue box on page 3, the blue box on page 16, and then pages 17 through 23. So then you have a discussion board post here from Miller, Lynn, and Grunland, measure and assessment and teaching. Which criticisms of testing do you consider to be the most serious? And this is a really good time for that since we're just finishing up with EOGs. What steps should be taken to correct them? And which types of testing and assessment do you think should be increased in schools and why? So this is a peer response post. So this must be posted by Sunday so that you can read and respond to at least 2 of your peers. And that will be due by Tuesday. So this original post is due by Sunday, your response to your peers by Tuesday. If you go to your action research folder, you will make a copy of this handout on this link. Review the handout to help you understand how to think about action research and instruments you would use to collect data. Data is a huge part of action research because it helps you to know really if the research project was good, bad, if it needs to be tweaked. And then determining an action research question. These are common mistakes. Do not have a question that can be answered yes or no. That's not a research question. That's just a can you do it, can you not? Do not craft a question that say will be answered by reading information in journals or from other experts. It needs to be something that we don't know. That's why it's an action research, because you're going to put it into plan, or you would, and see what happens. Do not craft a question based on something you have no control over. Again, for example, the size of your class. You can't control that. Do not craft a question you already know the answer to. So if it's something that you've already done, that's not an action research. That's a done action research. Do not craft a biased question. Now, This is going to be hard for you because bias will work its way in because you already have an opinion formed. But when you do action research, it has to be something that you just want to know the answer to. You don't know the answer. You haven't formed an opinion. You just have a question that you want an answer to. So be really careful about the bias in forming your question and in your research. So these are ideas to help you think about your action research question. And then you're going to go into the Efron and Ravid chapter 3 and 5 and figure 2.9, and you're going to have a discussion board post here. Use the information presented in chapter 3 and 5 and the figure 2.9 to complete this discussion board post. Create a similar figure to the one on page 35 using the topic you decided you would be your research focus to fill out each box. Take a stab at how you would collect data differently. Add that information to the figure. It may be right or not, but you're thinking through the process and you're thinking about the data you would collect and how you would collect it. This post will serve as the foundation of your action research project. This has to be corrected and approved before you move on. So if you send it to me and it needs correction, I will send it back to you so that you can correct it and revise it so that you have an understanding of the data collection and the creation of your action research questions. So that has to be done, turned in, and approved before you can move on to the next assignment. You're going to sign up for a standards-based grading group. I'm not assigning those groups. You can sign up with whoever you would like to work with. Click the link above or the link on the left-hand navigation bar to access the groups. Sign up for one of the groups. Each group is allowed 4 members. There are 8 members in this class. I do not want a group of less than 3. And the reason is that it makes it really difficult on your other group members if it's just 2 of you. So actually the ideal would be 4. I don't want a group of 5. So with only 8 people in this class, we're going to have 2 groups, because if you had 2 or 3, then you would have a group of 2, and I do not want that. So figure out who you want to work with. We'll do groups 1 and 2 with 4 members. And then we have a weekly devotion here if you're interested. I know this is a heavy week. I understand that. It's just when you're in a 10-week course instead of a 15-week course, some weeks are really heavy, and this is a heavy front-loaded course so that you have time at the end to work on your evidences. So please make sure that you watch the videos on the evidences, that you understand the evidences, and if you have any questions, please let me know. One thing about the Action Research Project is you won't do it unless you just want to next semester. Next semester in 683, you don't implement the project. So you're going to work on an outline of a project. You're going to work on how you collect the data, but it would be up to you if you want to implement that next semester. And some of you may put a lot of work into it and want to do that next semester. That will be your choice. So look over this week, make sure you watch the video. If you have any questions, please email me and I will get back to you. Have a great week, and I look forward to seeing your work.